Okay, part two. And so we were looking at setting the time code for our projectile. And so I found the frame where my object first becomes a projectile. So I'm at frame 150 in this video. And so what I'm going to do is click on that frame number over here in the lower left corner, and I'm going to set that time to be 0. So your position data, your graph, is going to start at time 0 and not be shifted over too far away from that time equals 0 mark. Okay, so we've added our scale, we've set our axis, we've also set time being equal to 0 at a certain point, and so now we're ready to actually start tracking our object. And to do that, first I'm going to get rid of my axis. It's still going to be there, but I'm going to make it not visible by just clicking on that axis again. That way I don't accidentally track the axis or things like that. So now you come over here to create, and you're going to create a point mass. And this is where, once you click on mass A, this is where you've got all kinds of controls available to you. You can change the name of the object. You can change what color it appears, what the little points that it's going to track, what those look like. And that's kind of to give your presentation, the aesthetic that you want. But we're going to go into auto tracker. And for this, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I need to tell the program what to actually track. And so I want it to track this little thing right here. So this is where you make sure that your auto tracker tool is active, and you go Shift and Control together, and then you tell it what you want it to track. And then once you do that, I like to zoom out a little bit just so I can watch and make sure that it tracks the right thing. And then you hit search. And see, it shifted and it started tracking the other block. So if that happens, if it tracks the wrong object, it's no big deal. Just right click one of your points, and then you can go clear steps. And then it takes me back to 0. If your object isn't able to be auto tracked, you have to do the tracking yourself. It's no big deal. Just make sure that your mass A object is kind of active. So what's active appears up in the top of this window. And then you just hold Shift and click, and it will advance the video frame by frame for you. And so now I am tracking this top object myself, and I'm just shift clicking the like the middle of this object. And that's weird, it's like morphing into one thing. And you can see every time I click, my position data gets more and more over there. Okay, so now I'm at the end of my video. I've tracked all of my objects manually. So now you have position data that you're ready to look at and start analyzing. And you can look at the X graph, you can look at the Y graph, and to expand a graph, you right click that graph and you go analyze. And in that analysis, you can go to slope, you can go to area, and you can also do a curve fit. And remember, this E number means times 10 to the whatever power. The other thing you want to make sure of is anytime you're looking at a graph, make sure auto fit is checked for your curve fit. You can also tell it, I only want to curve fit, this section, or maybe you want to curve fit, the whole thing, highlight the whole thing. Now, when you switch graphs, when I right click and analyze this new graph, it shows both graphs overlaid on the same thing. And you can get rid of that by right clicking the column you don't want on there and just cutting. Now, just like this, if all of your data goes away, it's no big deal. Close that graph and then right click, analyze again, and then your data will be there. And look, my auto fit's not checked and my curve fit isn't the correct function. I need to go to a parabola and then auto fit. And there we go. So you can use these tools, screenshots here, add those into your presentation. That'll really up the up your data analysis, and we'll be able to see what you've got in your presentation. All right, I hope that helps you guys get started, and we'll see you next time.